Welcome to the Lights, Camera, Rant Podcast. Your source for the latest on movies, TV shows, and video games. Get ready for ranting, raving, and reviewing. Here is your host, Lee.
Hi everyone, welcome back for another episode of Lights, Camera, Rant, and with a special guest, the Nerd Dose podcast.
How's it going, Lee?
Hello, we're back.
Yeah, happy to be back again.
I'm glad you guys are back. I was so happy to get you guys back for another episode because our last episode did so well. And as we were just talking about before, we've been chatting every day about pretty much everything going on with the MCU at the moment, and we've been so eager to get back together to do another episode because you guys are my favorite international guests.
You as well.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Yeah, we go back and forth with just movie topics, just constantly.
It's important business.
It is, and the thing is, with this business, there's always new content. We don't have to create it; it's always going to come.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we love that.
So what we're going to do with this episode is Doctor Strange 2 in the Multiverse of Madness is right around the corner. It almost seems like forever that we've been waiting for this because it got delayed because, this was meant to come out, I think, a month prior. And so what we want to do with this episode is we want to get you guys, we're going to reflect on Doctor Strange 1, we're going to reflect on the What If episode, and then we're going to give you guys the top fan theories leading into Doctor Strange 2. So when you guys go see it, you're all prepped and primed, ready to go, so you guys know everything, and don't miss a beat.
Yeah, I want to note that expect a lot of content from probably both our accounts. I mean, we have Moon Knight Season 1 finishing up next week. 2 days later, Doctor Strange. We got Miss Marvel coming out in June. And then right afterwards, we got Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah, a lot of Marvel stuff coming in the next couple weeks, or months and weeks.
Ooh. Yeah, it's going to be rough.
Yeah.
It's going to be non-stop. After Thor, we're going to get, I think it's She-Hulk.
Yeah,
I think it's the
She-Hulk.
next in line to come out, which I think that might be the last Marvel show. Does that seem? Oh no, there should be another one. There should be another one that comes out. Right.
They haven't said much, but I believe Loki Season 2 might come out, and I'm thinking that might be more towards the end of the year.
Oh, that'll be a cool one.
Yeah. Well, that's my thing is we haven't really heard much about Loki Season 2. I'm wondering if that's because of Doctor Strange that they've kept that.
Because
they've kept that under wraps.
They use the same writer.
Yeah.
Michael Waldron. He essentially wrote, for the most part, Loki Season 1 and 2. And they brought him on to do Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness. So I'm definitely thinking they're going to link up way more than I ever thought they were once I kind of realized.
It'll be interesting to having them mix in stuff from Loki into Multiverse of Madness, and then hopefully we'll see some stuff from Multiverse of Madness into the Loki Season 2. So it'll be interesting to see if they can blend it all in together.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I certainly hope so. And, we're going to, you guys have got your Doctor Strange tickets, yeah?
I got mine.
Yeah, I'm in process, but I'm definitely going to try to watch it.
Opening weekend for sure.
Yeah, I got personal things I got to figure out.
That's fair enough. Whereas you'll get your ticket when you can, and I know that all three of us are going to be completely blown away when we see it because the hype train is in full swing at the moment. There's so many clips coming out. Yeah. I'm trying not to watch them, but at the same time, me being a huge fan's all right, let me watch it.
Yeah,
watch it.
They just keep popping up on our social media feeds.
Yeah.
I'm trying to avoid these clips.
I try to keep it as where I want to just see the movie by itself only and not see all these new previews. I'll watch only the trailer, but that's my only thing that can guide me into what the movie will be about. I hate the spoilers, and it's annoying me a little bit.
It's interesting enough to kind of understand, Disney and Marvel have done such a great job at hiding so many spoilers.
Yeah.
So if this stuff is coming out now, these aren't supposed to be major spoilers. These are just like tidbits. So can you imagine what the actual like insane spoilers are going to be?
That's true.
Because some of the clips, my mouths are dropping, and I was like, this is what they're choosing to show us. What can we expect? What we're not going to see?
What's going to be the bigger like spoilers that we're going to be like, what? That we would never think this would have occurred.
That's exactly right. And the thing is, this is what the Marvel's developed at the point that when we see trailers now with Marvel, it's like we don't know if it's real or fake.
True.
Yeah.
We don't know if that scene's going to be in it. We don't know if that scene's been edited. So it makes that a little bit hard. And not to mention the little tidbits that we are seeing of late. To me, I'm like, they're only slight extensions of scenes that we've already seen. They're not a flat out brand new scene. Like it's not like full brand new. They're just longer scenes from what we've already been shown.
Very true. Yeah, I like when Endgame only showed like the first like 15 minutes in trailers, and people are already analyzing the Thor Love and Thunder trailer as well.
That just only came out, right?
Yeah, because they keep doing these shots where like only two people are in the shot, but there's just like enough space where a third person could be, and people are like, that could be this person, that could be that person.
That's exactly right.
It was the same thing with
Endgame.
Endgame also.
When Tony was coming down from Captain Marvel saving him, people thought, I can't remember who they thought. There was like a space between like Captain America and Rhodey, and everyone was like, there's someone in between. And no one ended up being in between them.
I still remember, like, even going back to the Multiverse of Madness stuff, there's like those trailer, and like certain movie theaters, you have the views on the side instead of the straight one, like the one that you see straight ahead. And people analyze those trailers, and you can see like more of the
little extra bit.
Yeah, and like people are saying, "Oh, this person's gonna be in it. Oh, this is showing this thing, and it's related to this character." And I'm like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, people just analyzing it so much to the point where you're like, "Yeah, you could be right," but at the same time, like you could very much be wrong, and you are just looking too deep into it. But the problem is with Marvel trailers, because we know that they also take scenes out or even put scenes in that actually aren't in the movie at all. You're still guessing, going, oh, I could go watch this movie and it would just be Thor.
Yep. Disney's in control. We love it, though.
Yeah.
They know what to do to capture
They're not going
to
disappoint us.
Yeah.
No, not when it's Marvel Studios. Maybe if it's Marvel Studios and Sony, that could be disappointing.
Hello, Morbius. Now Craven.
Oh God.
I don't know. I saw the other day, real quick. I saw the other day that Sony was announcing that they're going to make a movie about a Mexican wrestler that's one of Spider-Man's villains. I'm like, what? Why? Who looks at that and goes, who wants this? Like, no one's asking for you to go so deep into Spider-Man's rogue gallery of villains that, that aren't really that popular, or they're only in it for, a particular time and they only pop up. I'm like, nobody wants that. Just because you can't use any other character because Kevin Feige doesn't trust you.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think the biggest thing with that was they got the rapper Bad Bunny to play the main character.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just so random. No one wants this. Spider-Man fans, like, I don't know if you ever, like, dove in their community, and they can be as toxic as Star Wars. And I'm sure they're going insane about this.
Oh, yes. And the thing is, if Morbius has shown us anything, we still don't have faith in Sony. We still... at least Marvel had some creative control over the Spider-Man movies, but as you can see with Morbius, it's like,
I think they just need to pump all their money out into the Spider-Verse franchise.
I know. I feel like they also, even just reflecting back on like the Spider-Man TV shows, like that's like a perfect opportunity to use those like not well-known characters into the shows.
There's thousands of Spider-Man. Why can't we just take one of those and just develop not maybe so much a trilogy, but maybe a movie. There's Spider-Man, was it Spider-Woman or something like
Yeah.
that? There's Silk. I mean, they did it with Miles Morales, and look how successful that was.
Yeah.
There's why not dive into Ben Riley? I know that's a big one people love.
Yeah, I would love a Ben Riley or like you said, a Spider Woman or Silk. That would be cool and for me to watch. Like instead of seeing like the Morbius, for example.
Exactly.
Like, I rather focus more on like the cool other types of Spider-Man that we can see. You know?
Oh no! Or we get Madam Web, which I'm like,
Jesus
when I saw
Christ.
when that got announced, I was like, cool. I have absolutely zero care of you doing this. The only thing is that the actress that's playing it is very attractive. That's it.
Yeah, I think Madam Web is supposed to be an old woman.
It is an old woman, yeah.
And it's just
Blindfolded.
Based on the little bit I've heard, like she's just at the center of all of this, like Spider-Verse, and it just, it just makes me think like they're copying, like the Flash. Flash has their Speed Force. They have so many other young speedsters and whatnot, and the Speed Force is at the center of it. Why do we need that for Spider-Man? Or at least why? It's okay in the comics, like not a big deal. But why do we think we need to develop that in a franchise?
I don't know, and I have zero faith in Sony. So like when it comes out, I probably may or may not go see it. Like I'm still on the fence of whether or not I'll go see Kraven the Hunter. Like the trailer will have to be really engaging for me to go into it because I'm like, well, Kraven the Hunter is obviously hunting Spider-Man because he's a game hunter. What are you going to be doing in your own movie? Like, what are you hunting?
Exactly. The same thing with Venom, What is Venom going to be fighting? How does Eddie Brock get the symbiote if it never went on Spider-Man? It's just dumb aspects that they need. They need Spider-Man. And I thought for sure the relationship with Sony has been developing, like, especially with Venom coming to the MCU for that split second, even though that was dumb, yeah. But I thought at that point, like, hey, maybe they're kind of going back and forth with their creative writers. Maybe we could start seeing a blend between the two. But here they go. Let's announce two random movies that no one wants. And it sucks. It sucks the most because Morbius didn't do terrible at the box office. So they think they're on a high. They think they're doing successful.
Nope.
I just still love that meme it's like, it's like someone going, stop making movies. And it's like, no, I'm going to make movies more now because of that. And it's like, stop.
It's just like when Adam Sandler made a comment that if he didn't get nominated in Uncut Gems, he was going to make the worst movie ever.
and here we are. All right, so let's bring it back to Doctor Strange. Yeah. So Doctor Strange came out in 2016 in November, and this movie this had a budget of $165 million to $236 million between that gap, which obviously advertising and anything to do in between. And this made $677 million of its theatrical run. So that's a complete and utter success. Now, where was your, because you've actually just rewatched the movie today and you watched the What If episode. What was your guys' first initial, when you went and saw this? What were your thoughts on it?
So, to me, Doctor Strange is a hard character to develop. He has the big ego, has an accident, kind of becomes a little bit of a better person. We've already seen that in the MCU with Tony Stark. Hence, maybe why people weren't as interested in seeing this. And I think in the first movie, they did go through that process. But it seems like a progression with Infinity War and Endgame, he does not seem like that as arrogant anymore, especially from Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah, I think for going through that, you see, he was a neurosurgeon who was very successful, saved many lives, doing research and all that stuff. Rich as hell, obviously, like you said, pretty much like Tony Stark. but more in the medical field. Then some terrible accident happens. His hands are broken, can't do surgery, so he wants to fix it because he wants to save lives. Yet he's still being an arrogant person. Then he goes to try to find a way to cure his hands and all that stuff. But then you also see development, like, okay, as he's learning more about this world that he's now being in, he becomes more humane, I guess you'll say.
Yeah, and he does. When I first saw the trailer for this movie, what really got me was the fact that, because this actually comes off the back of Civil War. So we got Civil War that same year, and then we got this, which was, it was completely different. Same thing like when we got Guardians of the Galaxy. I can't remember what came out before that. But it was like, you had
Guardians. I know
yeah,
that.
that's right. Yeah, and then you got this movie that was completely different, kind of like separate from the Avengers at the time, similar like Ant-Man. You had you had Avengers 2, and then you had Ant-Man, which was fully separate. But when I saw this, when I saw the trailer, I was completely blown away visually.
Mm-hmm.
You just watch Civil War, which is action, hard hitting, brawling kind of movie, and then you got this trailer of this. What is going on? And I'm like, I need to know more.
The whole mirror dimension.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Inception turned up to 11.
Yeah,
it is definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Benedict Cumberbatch was a fantastic choice for this character. He actually was the first pick, but he was almost not going to be in it because he had scheduling conflicts with Sherlock Holmes. But what Marvel did was, because they want him so bad, they actually worked around Sherlock Holmes to make sure he could play the character.
Yeah, that's what I've heard that too. I think they pushed it back a few months so they could bring him on. I also heard that Jake Gyllenhaal was in the running for Doctor Strange as well.
Really?
Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal and Jonah Phoenix. No, the guy who played the Joker.
Oh, Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, he was the other pick.
Yeah, he said hell no. I don't know why he was a pick, because he stated that he doesn't want to be in a franchise.
Yeah. I can't even see him as Doctor Strange also.
Yeah. Benedict Cumberbatch literally has the exact same features as Doctor Strange. He couldn't be more perfect, in my opinion.
No, and Benedict Cumberbatch is one of those people that, just like Robert Downey Jr., just like Hugh Jackman, just like Patrick Stewart, perfect comic book casting. You can't get any better than that. Like, it's spot on.
It looks comic book accurate.
Definitely. I think go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say his whole outfit and the cape and everything.
Yeah, it looks flawless.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the things that drew me into this kind of new world, new kind of movie, new character, I never really had an idea of what he did. It definitely seems like they brought down his powers on a comic book level to make it more understanding. And I really like this, just a whole new side of the MCU. I honestly like this better than like the whole space side. I like the mystical more. And I think the biggest thing that drew me into this movie was it was so much darker.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just something that, if you notice throughout the movie, nothing was really well lit. Mm-hmm. It was always like at least some shade of like blue. It's more darker. Mm-hmm. I mean, the opening scene opens up with one of the sorcerer's head getting chopped off. Mm-hmm. So it definitely felt It felt like something so different, and it felt very like perfect to Doctor Strange.
It follows the theme of what Doctor Strange is going to be about, and like it gives you that taste. And it's like you said, I think it's a different type of tone that we're going for throughout this whole MCU universe.
Yeah, and you're right, and that's the thing. Is like, you just watched Civil War, which was all very well lit, and that became very emotional at the end, but it wasn't dark. Mm-hmm. It was more very emotional, and then you got this. And you're right, I totally forgot about that chopping head scene, because I remember actually seeing it in the theater, going, "Whoa!" I've never gone to work in a library ever.
Dang.
And the thing is with this movie as well is that I also agree with you guys. I love the fact it went into a section of the MCU at the time, which is really scary to say, that was complete untread territory. Like you saw the magic side of things, and not only was he doing spells and everything, but I feel like the Ancient One, Tilda Swinton, I did think they did it very well, explaining how the magic works to a grounded level, like to still explain, as real as it can get, how it works.
There's this one quote when she's talking to him, explaining how it all works. Mm-hmm. And this was pretty much the first introduction to a multiverse. They've kind of been laying it out roughly since 2016. I mean, she said something like, we draw energy from other dimensions throughout the multiverse to cast our spells.
That's what we can do.
Yeah.
True. And I guess it gives you the taste of, like, they mentioned multiverse, but now we're seeing it more in an in-depth concept, I guess you'll say. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, we're about to. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And this is Mads Mikkelsen. He plays the bad guy for this particular movie, which was his first attempt on playing a sorcerer. Which I think he was a good bad guy, and I think the thing is he wasn't trying to take over the world. It was more like why is there limitations? Like why? Yeah. How can you use the dark magic, but we can't?
Exactly. No, I completely agree. It was just he wasn't as evil. He wants the same things. He wants the world to be a better place. Mm-hmm. He just wants to go about it using a darker thing. And I think this movie, I don't know if they did it well, but they definitely hinted at like the different philosophy on what we can do and what we can't. Mm-hmm. Especially when we compare it to Mordo, who just is constantly like, if it violates the natural law, we shouldn't be doing it. We're not gods. We shouldn't be tampering with space and time and all that.
I think it's funny, like you see like it's that same philosophy. You both have that same end goal, but how do you want to reach to get there? I mean, we see that.
Yeah, what are you willing to do?
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. Moon Knight follows very much exactly like that. And I thought, like you mentioned, he was a good villain. Nothing too memorable, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I would say Dormammu. I can't remember.
Dormammu. I've come to bargain.
Yeah. But yeah, he seemed like, and just the fact that he was defeated using intelligence. Mm-hmm. And I watched a video months ago stating like people always forget that Doctor Strange suffered through all that pain to bargain with Dormammu, and it was like thousands of times he died, felt the pain, and you could tell his whole entire character just completely 180'd when it was like, well, if as long as the people on Earth are fine. He constantly, like, I think the whole idea of like if one person can be sacrificed for the greater good, then it's good. And he kind of that ideology was teetered between him and Mads Mikkelsen's character a lot. But then eventually he became that one person.
Yeah, the lives of few are like rest of the many, or whatever.
Yeah.
That whatever that saying is. Did you guys know that Dormammu was played by Benedict?
No,
really.
That's still him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so his arch enemy, the big villain at the end, was himself. Plot twist.
Kind of like a self-reflection.
Following his CGI smog, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So he actually played the villain in that movie, which actually I didn't really think of it, but you are right. He died. He felt every single time he died. And the CGI in this movie is nearly picture perfect.
Yeah,
definitely.
I love it.
Especially when he turns the time of like the apple, and like right at the end when he's turning the Hong Kong Sanctorum, which I loved Wong. Wong was like the MVP of that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I just still remember like all the CGI. Just going back, piggybacking off of that, like look at the mirror dimension stuff and all that. Like I watched it. Both of us, I'm assuming, we watched it on our Disney Plus account, they have the whole IMAX enhanced stuff now, and it shows it all in its full glory, which also makes me think of this is how it's going to be appearing in Multiverse of Madness as well. So like, I'm like really excited how this is going to be portrayed with like the whole mirror dimension and all the transferring of going to different universes. Like, I'm excited for how this camera work is going to be with this.
We'll get into that. I have something to mention about that. I'm excited for it as well.
Yeah. What do you think of the progression of Doctor Strange? So this is kind of like a vague question because, I'm pretty sure Doctor Strange has been in the most MCU movies. He's made the most cameos. He was in Thor Ragnarok for like a few minutes. He was Infinity War, Endgame, No Way Home. I think he's right next to the equivalent of being with, who is it? Natasha Romanoff, Scarlett Johansson, like with how many movies she's been in. And the reason why I asked this question is because when Infinity War came out, a lot of people were saying, I liked him better in Infinity War than I did in his own movie. But he seems like his character or the writing for his character took a turn a little bit. He was a lot more serious in his first movie. And then come Infinity War, Endgame, and then even No Way Home, he has started to develop a sense of humor and, following the same track of every single MCU character having to be sarcastic, have to be quirky, quick. He was so serious in his first movie, he never made stuff like that. And now he's like completely 180, similar to how Thor moved to Ragnarok. I think we both can agree that was a better choice. But is this a better choice
100%.
with Doctor Strange?
I guess like to think first is like you see, like I said, you see him grow. He was very arrogant, and now you see him being a little bit more understanding, I guess, of being this type of person. He's trying to use what he's learned so far from being the new sorcerer of this world and seeing how he can adapt with all the other characters he's trying to interact with. Because he wants to trust them, I feel like, but he still needs to gain even more trust with them, especially from Infinity War. I know you kind of saw that kind of holding back, like, I don't know if I want to trust you or anything like that. Even when he first interacted with Tony Stark. Like, oh, do I really want to trust him? But, like, he is, like, essentially the only person to see. Or even the same thing when we got, when Hulk came back down. Like, he's like, who is this person? Who's Thanos? All that stuff. Like, I think it's just him trying to grow, and he wants to be understanding is my thing. He's trying to grow a bit better, I guess.
Yeah, I fully agree. That was a great answer, actually. That was a lot of the points I was just about to say. I feel like I think for his Doctor Strange movie, he was very obviously a bit Iron Man-esque. I think like that, but I think what you can very relate to him in the first movie because you got to think about, if you were doing something like that, if you had a career and it just gone, like you would be cynical. You would be trying to find a way to fix it. You would be this angry person. And then same thing, if you're a doctor and you got to take that oath, and then someone goes, oh yeah, you got to take his life to save the world. What? Instead of saving them, like you would be that cynical and serious. But I think at the beginning of Infinity War, I think he was still very serious because he had that argument with Iron Man on the spaceship, like, we need to go back. Who the hell is this? Is this your ward or something? We need to go back. And I feel like his character still progressed in Infinity War. I feel like it was still a good progression. You are right. He is becoming a little bit more lighthearted. But I think his ego is still there across all three. He's still got the massive ego because even No Way Home, he cast that spell when Wong told him no because of his ego, because he's like, nah, I can do it. I can do this. Mm-hmm. And in Endgame, obviously he was only in it for a little bit, but like he'd already seen the future. Mm-hmm. And again, he was serious in that too. He's like, I can't tell you, it won't happen. He wasn't obviously lighthearted in that. And going into the Multiverse of Madness, it's almost still his ego that's punishing him because things that, his ego is what caused No Way Home. and a No Way Home is going to bleed into Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness because he's reeling from the effects that he made that spell and he halfly effed it up. And it looks like at the beginning of the movie, like there's one scene where he's got all these red balls and everything in the trailer. It looks like he's trying to control each one, which is why I think it's Wong who says it, or Mordo's like, you can't control everything, Steve.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to see when that's tackled. And I really hope they do maintain his ego, because that is something that definitely disappeared with Iron Man, with Tony Stark I would even say after the second movie. But yeah, I really hope they keep that attitude. I always go back. I don't read the comic books, but the one comic book I read was Civil War. I read that in high school before the movie came out. And, Captain America and Tony Stark were fighting. At one point, I think Tony Stark tried to get Doctor Strange to join his side. But Doctor Strange, he is so above everyone else. I really hope they maintain this in the next movie too. He's like, I'm not going to take part in your pity fights. You two, this isn't worth my time. I'm better than this.
It's not worth it. Why would I need to fight this? It's not my battle to fight.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Because I can see that. I can 100% see that, something like that happening. But the problem is, I think he's going to have to be the new leader of the Avengers, because everyone's kind of dropped off. Which I said in my last episode of my podcast was technically right now we have to remember there is no Avengers. There is no team. There's no HQ. The world is currently unprotected, if you will.
There's no leader.
I hope he doesn't join the Avengers. I'll be honest, because I think his whole storyline and mystical arts is so different than everyone else. I'm very
well. He's not an Avenger.
Yeah, we should honestly just do an episode of what the future Avengers would look like.
Yeah,
because we know Captain America's coming back. We know that one for sure. Mm-hmm. Is Bucky going to return? I don't know.
I would assume, because why not?
I mean, he wants to be done with fighting, though. So
he wants to move on with life.
But yeah, definitely, I would agree with you though on Doctor Strange is definitely going to be one of the main 3 or 4 moving forward with the MCU. Because he's felt like that with how often he's been in other movies lately.
Yeah, it has to be. Yeah, 100% has to be. But did you after you finished watching Doctor Strange initially, did you guys feel I can't wait for a sequel? I can't wait for him to come back again? Were you I want more of this?
I was excited.
Yeah, I would probably say it's because I think we talked about it a little bit. This is more MCU focusing on the mystical side instead. Whereas, we've seen in the past with Civil War, for example, that was all fighting. We see Vision, who has just the stone powers, I guess, but that's more cosmic. We have Guardians of the Galaxy, that's more cosmic as well. This, at least with Doctor Strange, it focuses more on mystical background stuff, with powers or with studies and spells and witchcraft, I guess, is a good comparison.
The mystical arts too are just visually pleasing,
and that's the thing. Yeah,
and I think that is a big draw, and why I was very excited to see it. I mean, one of my favorite moments in Infinity War is when he's walking up to one of Thanos' children at the very beginning, and he does the fist slap, and then the shields come out, and the whole camera work shakes with it, and the sound effect. It was just so badass, and I think it helped so much with his spells and mystical arts being so visually pleasing in such a dark movie. Mm-hmm. And I think the contrast was just perfect. I 100% wanted to see more. I wanted to explore the history, the lore, everything about it. It just felt so different. And I was very excited when I found out he was even going to be in Thor Ragnarok for a few minutes.
Yeah, I feel also it's just more, like you said, visually pleasing. And I want more of seeing what this mirror dimension can be about. I mean, when we look back from going to No Way Home, all of that was a mirror dimension. It gave me more taste of what the mirror dimension was going to be like again. And I was so happy just seeing that beautiful aspect and like learning. Even like when Spider-Man was like talking about how the whole mirror dimension, it's all like math stuff, which I thought was pretty funny.
Yeah, I know. Like, here's a mirror dimension where the Sorcerer Supreme completely controls, except if you're really good at math.
Physics.
Yeah, exactly.
Physics, then you're screwed.
I know. I just love that part. Like incorporating real life stuff, especially with Peter, who is just a high school student essentially, and like he just can master the freaking mirror dimension in like probably 20 minutes, I guess, is a good estimate.
Yeah, at that time when his movie came out, I think like they pretty much have like the core Avengers plus Wanda and whatever. And Civil War introduced Spider-Man and Black Panther, but Doctor Strange was soon afterwards. But he got his own movie. So essentially, besides the core Avengers, like that was one of the first introductions of a completely different character.
That's true.
On a completely different side of the MCU. So I think at the time, I was very excited to see where we could go because it just felt so fresh.
I guess also there's a lot of backstory we had to know with Doctor Strange as well. Compared to like Black Panther and with Spider-Man. Because obviously we all know Spider-Man's backstory at the previous two franchises.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I'm just looking right now. Yeah, so we got Civil War, and then we had Doctor Strange, and then we had Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and then we had Spider-Man Homecoming, which then led to Thor Ragnarok, and then obviously all the way led to Avengers Infinity War, Endgame, and all that. Actually, you know what's funny? I'm looking right now on Wikipedia. I didn't know this, but I think this is a real cool fact. The guy who did the score for Doctor Strange was the guy who did the score for the Batman.
Really? The new one?
Yeah, the new one.
Oh.
Is he coming back for Multiverse of Madness?
I will double check why I have this open right now.
That'd be interesting because I know the really popular music tone.
I like it.
No, that's right. Side point. No, he isn't coming back to do Multiverse of Madness. The person that is doing the music for Multiverse of Madness is Danny Elfman, who made the Spider-Man theme song and made the Batman theme song, the Michael Keaton.
Okay.
The older ones, yeah.
Okay, I like it. Okay, I do really like the score for Spider-Man, but I feel like he does not have a yet distinct full theme. You could play Spider-Man, Tom Holland's Spider-Man's theme, and I could not recognize it. That's how I felt like after 3 movies, it should have progressed a little bit better.
Interesting.
Oh no, sorry, I meant he did Tobey's Spider-Man.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. Never mind. I regret what I said. Take a step back. Never mind. Okay, bring it on. I'm ready for it then.
Yeah, sorry. I should have said that. Sorry. He did the Tobey's Spider-Man, and he did the original Michael Keaton theme, which is infamous in itself.
So Sam Raimi brought back his original composer.
I was gonna say that's like the thing because Sam Raimi did all that. There'll be a.
Yep.
I guess that's probably one of the theories. Is Spider-Man going to come into this, the Tobey Maguire one?
Oh,
let's wait.
That's what I'm saying. I know we were kind of getting early with the theories, but like
jumping over to the What If episode, like would you say that's your favorite episode of the What If series or season?
I think out of the entire series, that was the most emotional, the most captivating, and the most interesting out of the entire series. And I love the fact that he came back and was basically the MVP in that last episode. The Avengers, or was it the Guardians of the Multiverse? I love the fact he came into it. I love the fact that Benedict Cumberbatch did the voice for the character. Because obviously in that series, we've got some characters that didn't come back, Robert Downey Jr., Brie Larson, and there was somebody else that didn't come back.
Chris Evans.
Yeah, Chris Evans didn't come back. Obviously, Toby.
She came back.
No, she came back.
Oh, I thought you could say something. Okay.
Yeah, she came back, and Tom Holland didn't come back for Spider-Man either.
Scarlett Johansson didn't come back for Black Widow.
Oh, really?
No, but I do love. Yeah, who voices Poison Ivy?
Yep, in Harley Quinn series.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I do love that she came back. Now, the What If episode, when I saw this, I really like this. And I like the fact that technically, Doctor Strange didn't win. He lost.
Yeah.
You know, and we saw, this episode was still just as crazy in the mystic arts that we got to see, with being the creativity being animation, that we saw some crazy stuff that came through. And you saw, actually, draw back to what we were just talking about, his ego on full display.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
It's continued on. It doesn't stop. No change of his emotion at all.
No. And, even Rachel McAdams came back to voice the character as well.
Nice for Christine.
Quick question about her, just in her character. Is she supposed to be one of the night nurses? Because I thought I heard a theory that she was, but then when I just rewatched the movie, I'm like, she's a doctor.
Yeah, so I will. That's another theory. that's another theory.
All right, we'll dive in a few minutes then.
Yeah. But yeah, she came back as well for the character. And what did you guys think of it? Did you really like it? Where would you stack it up amongst all the other episodes?
I think, in my opinion, it would be the best one.
Yeah.
Like you said, it was the most captivating, gut-wrenching, heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you felt the emotion that Benedict Cumberbatch was able to display through voice acting, especially when he kept bringing back Christine, or kept trying to stay with Christine, or save Christine, and kept constantly failing and failing. And it was just
like Groundhog Day.
Yeah, exactly. And it just felt like an entire separate story than what the other What If episodes were kind of trying to do. And it just blew me away. I was just like, wow, I kind of feel in a terrible mood right now.
Yeah, it kind of messes with your emotions with this, because like you see, especially with Doctor Strange wanting to better himself, trying to be with Christine, but like apparently with how his life portrays, no matter what universe is that he's in, he has a loss. It's gonna be with Christine.
And we really got to see the love that he had for Christine.
Yeah.
We kind of got tidbits of that in the first Doctor Strange. And I don't even think they ended up kissing. She kissed him on the cheek.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that love continued on, or that love was just something that they had at one point. But yeah, you definitely got to see that he loves her. Like he's the most important person in his life. And I thought that was done beautifully. And it makes me more confused to see that she's getting married in Multiverse Madness.
I know. Do we even know?
I know.
Nope.
Shoot.
What was that?
I'm just curious. Do we know, based off the trailers, who Christine's gonna get married to in the movie?
No, but now you mention it, she's probably getting married because she probably didn't get blipped.
That's what I'm thinking.
Oh.
That he died for 5 years.
I didn't realize. Dang.
And just another stake in the heart. You come back from being blipped for 5 years, and you go see the woman you love, and she's marrying somebody because,
that is a great aspect that they have not introduced yet from the blip. That would be perfect for this movie.
Was it? Is it Far From Home? Spider-Man. One of the teachers is like, my wife said she left me or something. Where she got blipped. And actually, she didn't get blipped. She was actually running away with somebody.
Yeah, I remember. I know which
she
teacher.
got blipped.
I think it's the white glasses guy.
Yeah.
With the beard, I think. Yeah.
Great actor. I love him. He's in Silicon Valley. With Kamal. Great show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you should, if you get the chance. It's on HBO Max. I'm really techie, and I love that show. And
I don't have HBO Max.
Oh yeah,
Australia.
Yeah. I'm so sorry.
It's a great show. It's like, the Batman is on HBO Max. It's like, cool. That's real nice.
Just get those VPN thingies where you can change countries.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, that's what I need to get. But that's probably why she's getting married in it. And, when this episode comes back to, obviously the most pivotal thing in any time travel movie is that you can't go back and change a particular point, because if you change it, then you can't already be there creating it. So you create the you create the grandfather paradox.
Yeah, another thing that the What If episode introduced, there's that he has well, I don't think he has the Infinity Stone now, but like when he did, I'm sure there's theories of why doesn't he just keep reversing time?
Mm-hmm.
What's going to stop him? And then this What If episode introduced the idea of an absolute time point that no matter how many times you could reverse time, this thing needs to happen in every kind of in that universe.
Yeah, it can't change at all. You can't change it with that point. That's interesting.
No, because you're there. Yeah. You can't change the point because you're there. And if this doesn't happen, then, and I did like the theory, this is one thing that we did see in the Doctor Strange trailer, is we see how, because he's messed with time so much, that apparently the universe is becoming like black liquefied. And you see that happening in the trailer as well for a Multiverse of Madness. Doctor Strange walks out onto like a balcony or something, or walks onto a street and looks up to all these buildings, and they're same thing. They're getting liquefied away.
Yeah, I just realized that. That's completely pulled off from the What If episode.
Yeah. And I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure like there was this episode they had to change a couple of things in the episode. I think it was this one because it was touching too much on Doctor Strange's Multiverse of Madness. So the writers had to change, because I think this episode, and I think Guardians of the Galaxy, I think this episode as well, I think had to be changed a bit because they were touching too much on it.
Ooh, that gets me excited. Then.
Spicy.
Yeah, but imagine having to be that person. You're like, that's a great idea. Don't do it.
Yeah, it's a great idea, but we're doing that in another project, so stop it.
Hold on.
Just cut back to the start.
We'll put that on a back burner and then come back to it later.
Yeah, in a movie, but you don't know that. But I really liked this episode. And I thought, as well as right at the end, when he's trying to stop the world crushing in, like the universe crushing on him, the Watcher was like, "You could stop this. You're a god." He's like, "I'm not a god." He's like, "And neither are you." And that's that's Steve's ego right there. And the thing is, he wasn't trying to be a god. He was just trying. There's actually a movie. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's called The Time Machine. It's got I forgot his name. He was actually the villain in Iron Man 3. And it's a similar thing actually. He builds a time machine. Guy Pearce, that's it. And same thing. He builds a time machine because his love dies, and he does the same thing. He keeps going back in time to try and stop it, but every time he saves her, she dies.
Torment.
And then
that is horrible. As if the first time seeing her death wasn't bad, but the fact that you are actively trying to save your love, and then it's just a constant failure every single time.
There's going to be something that can cause the death, and like you can't. Again, that's like going back to the absolute time point. Like you can't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, like even in the episode, he's like, "Let's just not go," and they went to go get pizza, and then a robber came in and shot her with the gun.
Yeah,
just straight away. Even Tilda Swinton, she also came back to play the Ancient One.
Yes, I love perfect casting for that. She's the Ancient One. I loved it so much.
She's perfect for that role.
And I'm okay with the whole gender swap. I know that was a big controversy when it came out, but I loved it.
Yeah, that was fine with me. She played it amazingly, regardless.
Yeah, I agree. I thought she did a good job because I've seen the comics of Doctor Strange, but my first big induction was I was at the stage where I was watching the old Marvel animated movies. Like they made an Avengers one, they made Avengers 2, and then they made a Doctor Strange one. So I watched that. So that was like my big principle for going to watch Doctor Strange. And I remember thinking, yeah, I'm sure you were a dude. I'm sure. But yeah, I think they had to change her for two reasons. I think they were more than happy to do the gender swap, but at the same time, something to do, I think, with Taiwan or somewhere, representation, and the film couldn't be watched in a particular place because if it was a dude, I don't know. you know, the whole thing of like, you can't show this character because it, against our values or something like that.
Yeah.
But did you guys like this episode visually? Did you think they visually did this well?
Yeah, it was insane. Very vibrant, colorful, and I'm wondering. We got to see a lot of different stuff that we haven't seen with Doctor Strange, like spell wise. I know at points there was like beams of energy that he was just shooting right out from his shields, and it was just something that we've never seen before.
Or even say like with the monster like at the end.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Like I've never seen anything like that at all with this whole MCU stuff. So it's curious. It's interesting that that's coming back. And like, do you think that's going to be the same monster that's coming back in Multiverse of Madness?
Yeah.
That tentacle monster thing, because like that was in the trailer, but I'm not sure if that's related or not.
No, the tentacle monster is different. That can go through dimensions or something like that.
Okay,
I think
that's what I was curious on. I was like, I'm not sure if that's going to be doing something.
Yeah. But I think it's different. But like at the end where he Doctor Strange does turn into a monster because he's absorbed all these horrible beings to get their powers. And I even liked his new outfit he had for Supreme Doctor Strange. I do thought that his outfit was still good as well. It's separated from the normal Doctor Strange. But I did like the fact that you got Doctor Strange and you saw him lose. You saw him still lose. Technically the bad guy still won, but was he really a bad guy?
Yeah, I like this cape. It's very cool.
Very distinct.
Yeah, I like that too.
And I like how we're gonna get different variants of, I'm assuming it's different variants of Doctor Strange in Multiverse of Madness, and I like the costumes for all that too. I really like Defender Strange's costume. I think that's just very different.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, that looks. And I like how he's got like the white streak and it's like back in a ponytail kind of thing,
like he's been through some shit.
Yeah.
You've seen things, haven't you? So did you guys want to move on to the theories?
Let's go for it.
Let's do it.
All right. So do you want? I'll do one. You do one.
Sure.
All right. So first one, which I think is the most important, like the most one going into this, is that number one theory is will Wanda be the villain of this movie, and will she be turning sides? Will she no longer be an Avenger? Is she actually the main villain in this movie, and moving forward, she will be the villain? She will be a villain.
From the clips, it definitely is perceiving that she is going to start off as the villain, especially with what it seems like she's going to be attacking the Illuminati, or at least a variant of her is going to be attacking the Illuminati. But then you saw a clip where she was teaming up with Wong.
Yeah, so I'm curious.
Yeah, it could be. I know I can't think of the movie, but it's like, when like their personality splits and it's like their pure evil version.
Well, it happened in the What If episode where the Ancient One split Doctor Strange in two different timelines, as she described, were living at once. So could that mean the same thing could happen to Wanda?
That's a possibility.
Yeah, that's true. Because in the trailer, it's not. Wanda's not wearing the absolutely killer costume outfit that we saw at the end of WandaVision. She's wearing her average clothes. It looks that you can see in the trailer is like touching her, like on the face while she's trying to cry in the house. And I don't know if you guys saw it, but there was a trailer that came out yesterday. It was just a clip about Wanda, and like the last scene is that Wanda, and she turns to the camera with this staring. I was like, damn.
Yeah, it's like a fourth wall break that she's trying to do or something.
Yeah,
the fourth wall. I'm going to shove my pants.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's a theory though. Like if it is a fourth wall break, but like what you said, like she literally looks at us as the Watcher, and I'm like, what the hell?
As the Watcher?
Yeah.
We're the Watchers.
Holy shit!
Plot twist.
So like I don't know what's gonna happen. Like it kind of gave me goosebumps when I saw that part. I'm like,
I haven't seen that clip
Yeah.
actually.
Oh, watch it.
yeah.
Definitely go watch it. It's just a trailer about Wanda, and it's just the last 2 seconds, and it's like, fuck.
Yeah, it's creepy. I don't know. Like, this is gonna make it's again. What else is if that's gonna occur? Like, what else is gonna happen? I'm so nervous for the show.
Well, that's exactly right. So for anyone who's obviously listening and wants to know the backstory, is that so Doctor Strange 2 is being directed by Sam Raimi. Sam Raimi is very rich in horror films. Is his back catalog, and obviously he's been a big part of Marvel originally back in the early 2000s because he directed the original Spider-Man trilogy, and which should have been a quad trilogy, but that's another episode for another day. But he's very enriched in that, and he does some fantastic camera angles and different shots. I think it's called a Sam Raimi cam. I think there's a whole section on that, on how he likes to shoot things, and which we mentioned before. He's getting Danny Elfman to come back and produce this movie. So I feel like this going into a horror setting, because this is flat out, Kevin Feige has said that this is the first Marvel horror film. Mm-hmm. So I fully trust that Sam Raimi is going to do a really good job because he's got both the horror and the Marvel aspect together. And not to mention, I did see a clip the other day that when he was in negotiations, I butchered that. When he was talking to some interviewer, he was saying that when he was talking to Kevin Feige and a couple of guys, he was like, I'm happy to do this movie, but I need like 10 storyboard guys. I need like 5 animators tomorrow starting off. And he's like, usually when I say that to a studio, they're like, no, you're being ridiculous. You can have 2 storyboard guys. You have 2 animators. And then apparently Kevin Feige turned around and goes to Sam, you're going to have 20 by tomorrow. 20 storyboard guys, 10 animators tomorrow. You're going to have everything to do this job.
Wow. We love that. Sam Raimi, yeah, honestly, with the vibe that they want to go for, Sam Raimi is honestly the perfect fit. Mm-hmm. And I think he even mentioned how he's never even watched all the MCU movies. Mm-hmm. So that just, I kind of look at that as a good way, because that just means the story is going to be so fresh and different and separate from the entire universe.
Mm-hmm. Separate, but still like incorporate parts of it, I guess.
I love the cast. I saw he came out with a movie called Crawl a couple of years ago. I think that he was highly produced, and I thought that was a great movie for being a little dumb monster movie. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think he's got the Evil Dead under his background. He's got a lot of horror, and I think it's going to be done brilliantly.
I'm
Evil
curious
Dead,
how this is going to be a first.
Darkman.
Yeah.
Drag Me to Hell. He did Drag Me to Hell.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I hated that.
I hate that movie.
That cringe. Like I hate the aspect of
that. There's so much. That movie had so much shock value in it for no reason. It was just so cringe.
Mm-hmm. Cringy, but like I also kind of gave me nightmares as a kid when I watched it.
Kind of one of the. So Kyle does have a theory here. He's looking at the list that we have, and we're trying to figure out what we can do. I'm going to give you this theory to do. I think that's a good one. I'm going to jump into the Illuminati theory.
Yeah.
So I feel like I heard this on a podcast yesterday, and I could see this going both ways. I think.
What do you mean? You listen to other podcasts?
Yeah, I listen to Friends from Work.
Oh.
They mentioned this. During this week's episode, of saying something along the lines of, is this form of an Illuminati a multiversal Illuminati? Or is this just an entire separate multiverse or separate world that has their own form of Illuminati?
I see.
Could that be like, and then that's pertaining to that world versus like the whole and it doesn't include the multiverse. Mm-hmm. So in that, for example, in that world, they have X-Men. Steve Rogers didn't get the serum. Mm-hmm. Captain Carter did. There's Fantastic Four, and I'm wondering, Captain Marvel is Monica Rambeau instead. I mean, it could make sense that it's just an entire separate multiverse that has their own form of Illuminati, but then gets blended into this story. vice versa. I feel like Tom Cruise is coming back as Tony Stark.
Mhm.
I feel like
That's
it's too good not to do.
Yeah, it makes sense because like that was some of the previews that they keep showing. Like I don't see why not.
They literally have Age of Ultron bots. Like
Yeah.
of course there's another Tony Stark out there. Like you can't not do that.
Mhm.
And I think with Professor X, they also mentioned yesterday is this our Professor X that we know and love? I think for sure it's Patrick Stewart's, but is it like
it is.
it is? Okay, yeah. You saw
Yeah.
his hand on one of the recent clips, and it was really old. I was like, oh yeah, that's for sure him. But is it
Yeah.
is it that Professor X that we know with all of the history of the X-Men movies,
Mhm.
or is it an entire different Professor X with a variant of that and who we have no idea who he is?
Like we don't know their story or anything
Yeah,
like
we just know that he's in charge of the school and whatnot.
Mhm.
But I don't know. Very curious.
I think I'm going to go with the first one. I'm going to go with the fact this is the multiversal Illuminati, because the reason why I'm going to say that is because it would make a lot of sense.
Mhm.
The fact that after this, Doctor Strange actually gets the idea of the Illuminati and brings that to his Earth and makes his own Illuminati.
Whoa, that would be so cool.
Shit.
Like he
I would
takes
love that so
takes the
much.
idea.
Yeah. Do you know what the Illuminati is?
I've
Kyle?
heard aspect of it.
So, kind of just a rough summary is like the brightest, smartest people in the world from each kind of like section of the world. Like I'm pretty sure Doctor Strange is in it. Fantastic. Reed Richards is the lead. They got Professor X. Professor X coming from the mutants. I'm pretty sure they have Namor from Atlantis, and then like Tony Stark. And pretty much they do like these under the table decisions for the better of humanity. And I believe the Illuminati started from like a Kree war, and Earth was like almost extinct, almost killed. And they pretty much came up with the idea, well, we can find ways to protect it without everyone knowing, with now people doing like the politics behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the biggest things that the Illuminati did is they were the ones who exiled Hulk.
That's what I was about to say.
Yep, and that's what led into his Planet Hulk arc.
And then led into World War Hulk of him coming back.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Which I heard might be a possible movie.
Yes, I've heard that too. But yeah, they were the original dicks that kicked Hulk off the earth.
Very arrogant, and they're like, we're the smartest people. We know what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to involve anyone else because we know what's best.
We know what's going on, so screw you all.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Pretty much. So I'm going to take a stab and say that Patrick Stewart as Xavier isn't ours. Isn't the one from the X-Men universe. Isn't the MCU one. I'm going to say he's from another universe again, because obviously he's in that gold chair. And I would say it would be if judging how he is, I'd say he's from a point where maybe Days of Future Past and obviously Logan maybe haven't happened yet. Maybe he's at the point where the school's thriving. It's nothing truly bad's happened yet.
What if this is the Professor X from the X-Men cartoon? Because it has the signature yellow chair.
Yeah.
And there's been that theory of, that cartoon universe that they blend their way through.
Yeah, because I know they're trying to also incorporate. Isn't X-Men '97?
The show. Yeah, another revival's coming back too.
Does Comic mix in with all that stuff?
That would be wild.
I feel like that's your only way to incorporate all of that.
So Lee, give me the lineup. Who do you think is going to be in an Illuminati?
I think
my theory is because from the last trailer.
Unfortunately.
I'm going to take a step and say it is. I'm not even too sure if it's Mordor.
Really?
I'm not too sure it's Mordor, because how would he know the Illuminati? How would he have got to that point? But then again, there's been a gap of 5 years. If he didn't get blipped, and obviously if Doctor Strange can study it, so can Mordor. So that's a possibility. But I'd say, obviously we know it's Captain Britain or Captain Carter. Monica Rambeau,
Oh.
and because she's in the trailer,
Yeah, she's fighting Wanda.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
she's finding Wanda, and I'm going to take a stab, and I'll say either Baku, Black Panther, or
Ooh.
In
Mr.
Baku?
Fantastic. Yeah, Baku, sorry, or Mr. Fantastic.
And Professor X. Which Mr.
Ooh.
Fantastic? Do you think it's going to be the original one that we know from the older movies, or do you think it's going to be John Krasinski?
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Oh, I won't be disappointed with either.
Neither
Yeah,
would I.
won't be-
I could love
No.
either one.
Yeah, either one would work out perfectly.
Either one. That's actually That's actually one of my fan theories. Is that we will see Fantastic Four in this movie, but it won't be ours. Obviously, it won't be our
Yeah.
Fantastic Four in the MCU. But as we've just talked about, that's the lineup of the Illuminati. So it makes perfect sense if Mr. Fantastic is there, because obviously, it makes sense. And not to mention, I think someone zoomed into a photo and it looks like there could be like A4 on someone's costume. So
Yeah. He's more like a slender figure.
Yeah, exactly right. And I think there's 5 chairs in the photo. And obviously one chair isn't for Patrick Stewart, clearly. So that's, Captain Carter, Captain Carter and Patrick Stewart. That still leaves an extra chair.
I think that
Somebody.
extra chair is that universe's or a possible variant of Doctor Strange.
That's my guess. That would make
Because
sense.
they're bringing him, and I don't know if this happened in the clip. I thought he said, "What kind of strange are you?" or something along those lines,
Oh, really?
possibly.
Oh, what
Add
type
another
of
variant. What type of?
Yeah, what type of strange? Yeah, so it could, it could be the fact that the reason why, the same thing with Loki, how the fact that they've got all these other Doctor Stranges, but our Doctor Strange is actually the worst one, who actually meddles with too much.
Ooh, I'd love that.
That'd be spicy.
See, the only issue, or possibly reasoning why I might not think it will be a multiversal like Illuminati, is because we just got off of Loki that dove into like a police force governing the multiverse. So do you think they would do that again, so fresh, not even a year later?
But then why would you have that interaction where it's a TVA that controls all that, and then you have the Illuminati?
That's also true.
But like they don't work together. So I'm assuming is it just the Illuminati only on that side then?
Fuck is absolutely right.
Well, the thing is, the TVA acted more like a police to make sure the timelines, stay the course. The Illuminati is more the fact that, doing the best things for the choice of mankind.
Everything.
So they've got no power in disintegrating anyone or alternate erasing entire universes. It could be just the fact that they not govern, but like make sure the best course of action for humanity in those universes.
Yeah,
I guess, but like that still kind of follows their goals then. Like they want to protect humanity, I guess, in both of their worlds for TVA and the Illuminati. But again, just figuring out what path they go through to accomplish that.
That's
wild.
Exactly.
Let's jump over to Wanda.
I'm scared of Wanda.
Take it away, Kyle.
Yeah.
Take it away.
Our theory here is that we're just thinking that Wanda is pretty much manipulated by that Darkhold and even Nightmare. Like, yeah.
So this is our third theory.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the Darkhold is sucking him. Well,
I think in the clips that we've seen, her suit is very like red.
It's more red.
And then in some scenes, it's like close to like black.
Yeah. You can see it change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Her hands are going black.
Mm-hmm.
Could it be long shot? Is a fact. I know anyone listening to this is going to probably go up in arms and be like, no, it's not. Could it be Mephisto? I'm only saying this. Hang on. Before you put your pitchforks down. Could it be Mephisto who is using her kids for her to open a portal with enough energy for him to come through?
See, I always considered, because from what I've heard before, I heard Nightmare was possibly going to be a main villain during the early production of this movie. And it makes sense, Wanda has the nightmares, now Doctor Strange is. And I feel like Nightmare is going to either manipulate Wanda to essentially kind of similar to what your theory is with Mephisto. I think it might be vice versa. But I could definitely see like her being manipulative by her kids to like pretty much for Nightmare, which I also think Nightmare is just gonna take form of Stephen Strange. That's could possibly why there's an evil one.
That's what I was thinking, because like I think that Strange that we see from the trailers is either like probably being manipulated by the Darkhold or by Nightmare. That's
Yeah, that's very true. Which that one with the third eye has confirmed that's not Supreme Doctor Strange that we see in the What If. That's still another Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
That we obviously see in the trailer that we can at least confirm that there's 3 Doctor Strange.
I could.
Long.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's all right. I was going to say, because I saw someone, because I have no life, is that you see Defender Strange get, how he, at the very start, he gets thrown into the multiverse. Someone's freeze framed that, seeing the fact that on his suit, it looks like he's torn, like he's been trying to fight that thing that's trying to capture the chick. And then someone's freeze framed that and then looked at Zombie Strange and seeing that he's got the same markings on the suit.
Oh, you're saying like Zombie Strange could possibly be Defender Strange.
Yes.
I think wild theory. And I think these clips of Third Eye Strange and Zombie Strange are just going to be like a 10-minute scene of him jumping through multiverses.
Yeah, that makes sense. He's just going with Chavez, I think.
Yeah.
And then they just jump into that world and he's like, oh, we'll fight, and then we leave.
I could easily see like being like, oh, this is my evil version right here. I'm going to fight you real quick, but then we move on to bigger things.
Yeah,
I could see that happening.
That makes sense.
Because why would they be showing so much? Because it does seem like they're showing us a lot. If I feel like for sure I don't know if it's just that they're possibly spoiling, but I feel like they're too smart to do that. And like I mentioned earlier, the whole Captain Carter reveal and kind of like a little bit more of the Captain Marvel reveal as well. They're choosing what they give us for a good reason. And kind of jumping over to cameos. Like I think for sure Deadpool, I'm pretty sure, is coming in.
You think?
I think give me Chris Evans' Human Torch.
Yeah, that'll be.
Give me that.
Yeah, that would be spicy.
Tom Cruise's Tony Stark. Give it to me all.
Just give me Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. I just need that. Like that has to be. Come on.
That's one of my theories. I've got here that Tobey Maguire will appear and he will fight Wanda briefly. That's another theory I've got. And my Deadpool theory is that Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is going to reason why Deadpool 3 is going to happen in the MCU, because my theory is that long shot, Doctor Strange leaves a portal open by mistake, and Deadpool's like, oh, what's going on in here? And then before he can go back,
do you think there'll be a post-credit scene?
Yeah,
easily.
He'd be like,
just follows them. I could easily see 100%. I honestly think that would happen at this point. Thinking about it.
Yeah, because you'd be like, oh, did you get everything? Yeah, I think I did. No, you didn't.
I could see, so I think the Wanda that's attacking the Illuminati, I think she's a variant.
That makes sense.
Yes.
She's wearing her normal clothes, and I think that's possibly the variant that actually has her children. And I think that her children that were in WandaVision were plucked from a different universe and kind of given to her. Or a different theory that Wanda variant has seen what a different Wanda was able to receive and is so upset that she got to have a family and life and kids, at least for a moment in time. and she's angry and jealous that she can't have that.
So she wants to fight and be like, I want to live this life.
Well, that's very true because like we can see in the trailer as well. So Wanda's meditating. All right, she's meditating, and you can see that she's like technically on her knees. So whatever she's trying to meditate, it looks like she's actually connecting to that other world where her kids are, but she can't stay there because you see that she touches her kids, she's on her knees, and in the flip scenes where you do see her at the home, she's it's the same suit. So I think when she's wearing her costume, she's ours, but not when she's not. Which the thing is, here's the $1 million wild fan theory. That's another one. Is that this Wanda that comes in Illuminati? She cracks Patrick Stewart's neck.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, I heard she should be stronger. I think I heard there's going to be a stronger Wanda.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because she's covered in blood.
Yikes! That'd be so fucked up. Imagine getting us introduced to Patrick Stewart just to him die.
Yeah, he dies 5 minutes later.
Yeah. Hi, my name's Charles. Gone.
Yeah, she is covered in blood walking out.
Oh my god.
I
didn't think about that.
She's covered in blood. So that's what makes me think. I'm like, she's gonna slaughter them. She's either going to beat all of them or she's going to kill half of them right there. But Doctor Strange and Mordor get away, but she does the rest.
Wow.
Because you got to remember that she nearly killed Thanos. That battle was nearly over. If he didn't do rain fire, she was going to kill him right there.
Yeah, I remember that part. Yeah.
But
who are you more excited? Obviously, this is a Doctor Strange movie. Who are you more excited to see progress as a character, Doctor Strange or Wanda? Because this is essentially a sequel to WandaVision as well as a sequel to the first Doctor Strange. Both kind of blended into one.
You're right. I think the emotional investment is in Wanda.
Yeah.
She's like, that's why my partner is going to come watch it with me. And she wouldn't she likes these movies, but not obviously a whole lot. But the reason why she really wants to go see this one is because she really loved WandaVision, and she wants to see what's going to happen with her. And I think for me, I like Doctor Strange, so I'm looking forward to seeing his progression because this is his second outing, his own movie. So I'm looking for that, but probably the more emotional investment is with Wanda.
Yeah,
I would say
the
so
emotion.
too.
The emotion grow.
Great decision though to just blend those two characters. It's something that never came to my head.
Yeah,
and here they are. That there's hey, they're both doing arts. They should be in a movie together.
They work. Yeah. They kind of work hand in hand, essentially.
Yeah.
Boom. Exactly right. So I think we crossed about 2 to 3 theories just then. My other theory is that you see, when Wanda, it looks like she's getting attacked by something in the trailer, and it looks like a crystal ball or something, or like the mirror dimension. Have you guys seen that?
Was that in yesterday's trailer?
No, I think it's in one of the trailers. It looks like she's being attacked by something. She looks like she's in the mirror dimension. My theory is the fact that that's actually the same crystal ball thing from What If?
Like she gets
that Doctor Strange. Yeah, Doctor Strange is trying to contain her, or someone is trying to contain her because she's trying to go. Yeah, she's obviously you're trying to break the laws of the natural law of things.
Wow.
Damn.
Oh my god. The more we talk about this, the more I just 5 days away. I just can't.
No, but you got to remember when this episode comes out, it's only 2 or 3 days away.
That's true. That's true.
My other theory I've got is obviously this probably goes in hand with Loki, but Kang will make an appearance.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I can't. There's gonna be so much in this movie.
So much is gonna happen that it's gonna be. I'm worried it's gonna be. Do you think it's gonna be too much for us to comprehend?
because it is one of the shorter MCU movies, at least
Yeah.
of recent years.
Mhm.
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be one of those movies that you need to watch again.
Yeah.
Like you'll watch it and like you need to go back and watch because there's going to be so many things that you've missed.
Mhm.
Because there's the scene where Doctor Strange is falling with Shavas through. What's her name?
American
What's the
Chavez.
chick? American Chavez is that when they're falling into another dimension, and if you freeze frame it for just 2 seconds, that other dimension is animated.
Yeah, I've heard about this. Yeah.
I hope we
Yeah.
get. I hope we get a scene because I keep going back on the scene where, like, you know, Wanda is staring at another Wanda inside the house, the Westview house, and I hope we get a similar scene to Days of Future Past when both Charles are staring at each other, and one's lost, one Wanda's lost, and the other's not, and they kind of realizing what's. I don't know.
You see, like, what happened to them and, like, why did they change it?
Yeah,
Like,
you could see, like, some progression in just a few minutes of them talking or just anything like that.
like, don't follow what I did, Wanda.
And it needs to have that emotional impact.
Yeah.
Yeah, or flip, just as a theory I just came in my head, a flip that she's actually going, the one, obviously the Westview one, is like, I'm going to do what your weak ass can't.
Oh, God. I could see that too.
Like, like basically, I'm going to do what you can't because you're too weak and emotionally invested in this. I'm going to get our kids back and they're going to stay with me. Mm-hmm. And she's actually, you're right. She's actually stronger than our Wanda.
Oh, gosh. do you think scenes with the children were filmed the same time as WandaVision? Because they're looking roughly the same exact age in the movie, which makes sense, but we all know how fast kids can grow up.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't. I feel like they could easily look drastically different a year later.
Or like they do CGI.
That's also
true. Yeah, that's very true. It's actually got reported, I think, at the time with WandaVision came out, that Elizabeth Olsen, she said the fact that as soon as they finished filming this, she went straight on to Doctor Strange.
Okay,
she went straight onto this, thing, and so they've kept that. So it makes sense. The kids would have gone with her. I don't know whether or not Vision will appear in it. Obviously without that going on. Apparently, what's his name? He was the guy in Evil Dead. The main dude in Evil Dead. I gotta look it up too.
The main actor?
The main actor. Obviously, he was all in the Spider-Man movies as well.
Oh, Bruce Campbell?
Yeah, Bruce Campbell will be making a cameo in the movie. He has confirmed that. But the interesting, he was talking in an interview saying the fact that, Doctor Strange had to go do the reshoots, and he what not a negative light, but he was saying that apparently there were Marvel it was a obligation that they had to come back and do the reshoots for it. They had to do it. Not saying it sound negative, but I'm like, reshoots don't always mean, don't always mean a bad thing. Like obviously with Warner Brothers, it's poison, but not with Marvel.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the thing is, I'm sure both at this point, anyone going into directing, starring in a Marvel movie must know now that you might have to come back for reshoots because things might change. So it's not the end of the world. And not to mention the reshoots that we got. How Doctor Strange did the reshoots towards the end of last year. For all we know, they could have just been, they looked at something on a storyboard and going, look, actually, that's not, we could do that better. Let's go back and do it again.
Yeah, I could see them editing a shot and they're like, well, that doesn't look exactly how we wanted it. Let's quickly go do it back. Mm-hmm. Or they even throw in CGI into the scene and they're like, let's just redo it because we could do it better, like you mentioned.
Yeah, and even Elizabeth Olsen said at the London premiere that actually this movie has had the most practical effects that she's dealt with in a Marvel movie before.
Whoa.
That's
So
shocking with how much CGI we've been seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm interested to think that like Kevin Feige, obviously, and Marvel have really like poured into this. Like they've, they pour into every movie, but like
This is different.
I think they're riding a lot on this movie.
No, this definitely feels different. This is like Avengers level, like hype at this point.
It's gonna be higher than Avengers, honestly.
It's honestly, you got to think about it. With the rest of the movies that are coming out this year, this will still be the most pivotal. This will still be the most pivotal in the MCU moving forward.
Yeah, completely agree.
For sure. Yeah, this is gonna be the top one. Like, oof. Just I know, like with 2021, that was like Spider-Man: No Way Home for us. This is funny enough. It's only been 5 months since we got that release.
First trailer of Doctor Strange was the end credit scene of Spider-Man: No Way Home.
It was. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Do you guys know the longest time between a trailer got released to when the movie got released, Marvel movie?
I was gonna say Morbius, but you said Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Sorry. Good movies.
No, I don't. No, I can't think of any.
Avengers.
Really?
Because the trailer for Avengers came out after Captain America: The First Avenger.
Wow. Yeah, because it follows right after him.
Yeah, so that's the longest between when we get the first trailer to when the movie got released. The only reason I know this is because the fact that obviously everyone was talking about how Thor: Love and Thunder had the shortest gap between the trailer and the movie.
What was the time frame between that long time?
I will tell you right now. Give me 2 seconds.
I feel like it's a long time.
It has to be a year.
Yeah, just to film all that.
I remember when Force Awakens came out and the trailer was released in December, and it was an entire year we had to wait.
Oh, really?
An entire year?
Yeah, it was about to year, and the trailer showed you nothing. So,
you wanted to keep it up.
Yeah, so we got the trailer for the first Avengers on July 22nd, 2011, because that's when Captain America: The First Avenger came out, and then it wasn't until May the 4th, 2012.
Wow.
10 years ago. Wild time. I remember seeing one in theaters 10 years ago with my buddy when I was 15 years old. So, God.
Same here. And I think I was talking to a mate the other day, and I was just like, I can't. The whole concept of the first Avengers to me back then was just, I was blown away. Multiple franchises coming together, doing one movie together. Like, that's insane. It's never been done before. Mm-hmm. And now,
look at what we got.
Look at Endgame.
Literally, like, look at what so much as Marvel has done throughout these past 10 years.
And look what's going to happen in this movie. They keep stating this is going to have the most like surprises and shocks out of any movie.
I still remember I was still shocked when we just had the first Avengers. Like, I thought that was going to be like the top tier thing, but like now look at it. Now it's insane. Like what we've come so far. Just imagine
what the next 10 years is going to be like.
Oh my god, I don't
know. Did you hear about the retreat?
Yeah, I heard about that. Kevin. Yeah, this is like the first retreat in like 3 years I've heard, and Kevin Feige is sitting down and he's going to be at the core of developing the next 10 years worth of projects.
Damn.
Yeah, they're gonna be sitting down and doing the next 10 years, and I'm like, I would do anything to sit in that room, just to be on the fly on the wall.
I would pay hundreds of dollars just to listen to it.
Yeah, just to be a fly on the wall.
Yeah, that's like I'll be a plant in the corner. I just want to hear what you guys are thinking, what you've got planned, and just what's going to be next, and like the thing is, I was saying to Mark in my last episode of my podcast is that we have to remember that Fantastic Four is the last movie of Phase 4.
Oh my! When is that coming out?
Well, there's no release date yet, but we have to remember. We're also, if this will test you. Do you realize we're halfway through Phase 4?
Yeah.
Shoot.
Oh, are we?
Yep. So we've seen Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, Spider-Man: No Way Home, Doctor Strange is around the corner, And so that's 5, and then left is Thor, Black Panther, Ant-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy, the Marvels, and then Fantastic Four.
Oh, I forgot Fantastic Four's coming back. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
I'm very excited for Fantastic Four.
So am I. The big thing is, I'm just curious is like how they're going to, because it can't be that they've been here the whole time. It
Yeah.
has to be an origin.
There's this one theory that I heard of a while back where who Hank Pym is around, and out of nowhere a portal shows up. Fantastic Four is in it, and then Hank Pym recognizes them. He goes, "Those were the scientists that disappeared 50 years ago."
Oh, I think.
Oh yeah,
And
I
then
can see that happening.
they've been in another universe, or they've been away, and here they are, kind of similar to what Captain America did. Or no, exactly similar to what Captain Carter did in the What If episode, how she disappeared and then came back. I could easily see that happening. That'd be perfect. And people are saying they should get Brad Bird to do this movie because he directed The Incredibles.
Oh my God!
Which is pretty much the exact same.
Yeah.
That is literally. I've seen someone post that saying the best Fantastic Four movie is The Incredibles.
Honestly, yeah, I see that. It's
same power.
Actually, that could be, that could actually really happen. Because did you hear the fact that Ant-Man and the Marvels have swapped?
Yep,
they've swapped release dates.
Good. I mean, I haven't heard anything about Marvels, but I've heard like constant shooting updates with Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is going to be. He's going to have Kang.
Yeah, they better not introduce MODOK. I really do not want to see MODOK.
I'm still triggered from that TV show that they made.
I don't want to see that progress into live action, and especially if it's Jim Carrey.
Oh, no, I thought he was done acting.
He could have done this. Could have filmed it.
True.
Yeah, that's right. He was rumored to be. Yeah, that's right. Jim Carrey was going to do this. That could be very true. But it's gonna be interesting because the Marvels, or Marvels. Yeah. I'm not overly excited for it. My biggest curious is the fact that you're gonna get Monica Rambeau and you're gonna get Miss Marvel. Yep. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. They're both going to be in it, so I'm curious.
Kamala, I think it is.
Kamala.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think everyone is in agreement. They're more excited to see Monica Rambeau take action versus like Captain Marvel.
Honestly, I see why, in my opinion.
Yeah, I just wasn't blown away by it. Like when I watched it, I was like, I just wasn't like, whoa, I can't wait to see what you do next. I was more like, I want more Thor. I want more.
At the bottom of my list. That movie's at the bottom of my list because, like you said, it is one of the most. Most MCU projects has made you feel like I'm excited. I can't wait to see the next thing. Nothing bland.
Yeah, and did you hear? Actually, I think I was on your podcast. Actually, I think you guys were saying that Kamala Khan. The funny thing is that she's playing Miss Marvel, yet she on Letterboxd. Yeah, she did a review of Captain Marvel and only gave it 2 stars.
Yeah,
and she on it.
Yeah, we did talk about
funniest thing ever.
See, I listen to you guys. Number 1 king.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate
it. Which I look forward to your Moon Knight episode too.
Yeah, likewise. Very excited.
Yeah, I got to get onto that. I'm not too sure. Moon Knight, I will be reviewing. That's TBA because my next episode, which I hope you guys don't mind me telling you what I'm going to do. I think you guys already know.
Go for it.
For my next episode, what I'm going to do for Doctor Strange review.
Yeah.
So next episode I'm going to do will be my first video podcast episode.
Oh, we love that. I thought are you doing Multiverse of Madness, correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So
yep, and give that a dabble.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. You got 2 listeners right here, Lee.
Yeah.
Well, watchers.
Appreciate it, guys.
Watchers.
Appreciate it.
So used to saying listeners, watchers.
I'm not used to the term watchers for a podcast. Like, it's so hard to correlate, in my opinion.
Well, that's the thing is with Anchor at the moment and the deal with Spotify. Obviously Anchor and Spotify and our video podcast. It opens an entire different world. And the best thing about it is the fact that you can add a video to your episode, yet it still gets distributed like normal to every other place. So people could still listen to it just normally if they want to. But yes, I will be doing that for my next episode. So we'll have to do a special Moon Knight review when that comes out. But look, guys, do you have any more theories?
No, we've covered, I think, for the most part.
Yeah. I'm just so excited for what this is going to be about.
Just less than a week away. Literally. I'm ready for my mind to be blown. I thought my mind was blown on No Way Home. I think it's going to be even worse for this.
I'm so nervous and excited.
Same. This is just going to just smack you right on the jaw. Look, guys, I hope everyone listening, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, with all these fan theories. Let us know in the comments, what fan theories do you think are true? Which one do you think is obviously utterly bullshit? And let us know, obviously, that if we don't get out much as well, because we've been talking about this.
Debate us. We want to fight. We want to go back and forth.
Yeah.
If you think we're wrong, go for it.
Tell us, and we'll fight with you.
Yeah, come on, tell us we're wrong. Tell us we're wrong. But yeah, guys, I hope you really enjoyed this episode. It has been an absolute pleasure having you guys on another episode, and I can't wait to have you guys on for another one, which, especially with, I have no doubt that after we all of us see Doctor Strange, we're going to be like, oh my God, what happened? You see this? You see that?
100%.
Oh, for sure. I'm ready. I'm really excited when we have to talk about that episode. We're probably going to have to do 2 episodes on that. I feel like
lots of episodes.
Yeah, part 1, part 2, and part 3 of WTF is going to happen next.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, guys, thank you very much, and until next time, happy ranting.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to Lights, Camera, Rant. If you like the show, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. While you're at it, leave us a rating and review, and be sure to tell your friends. Until next time, happy ranting.